Is it always a bad idea to be the rebound guy for a woman? Hi there, men's dating coach HarryWilmington here, founder of IntrovertDatingSuccess.com. And today, let's go ahead and talk about this subject because there's a guy that wrote me. He's actually wrote me based on another video that I did called 2 months in and she just wants a casual relationship, where I talk about how if a woman you've been dating for 2 months comes to you and says, oh, I just want to do something casual, or I'm just not feeling it the same way or whatever, that's usually a bad sign or indicator that her interest is starting to wane, most likely because you're probably spending too much time together, you're appearing too needy, etc., etc. So this guy wrote me and says that he's going through a similar situation, and then he also talks about how he was actually a rebound. Like she had just finished dating a guy 3 weeks prior before she started dating him. So that might be one of the reasons for it. And so I want to talk about that because is that a thing whereby if a woman starts dating you immediately after she has a previous relationship, if that means that you're the rebound guy, if that means that it can't work out or could it possibly work out, or if it could work out, what do you need to do to see to it that it actually leads towards that, okay? And I'm going to start by reading this guy's question because I told him in the message, I said I would answer it in one of these videos. Or he could just, hire me for coaching or whatever. And so he wrote me back, giving me a bit more detail. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read the first part of his message. I'm gonna read the end message he sent me, and then I'm gonna read what the text was that the woman sent him to see how it correlates with what was going on. All right. So let's get into that. By the way, if you have any questions you want me to answer on the show, you can either leave a comment down below on the YouTube page, which is youtube.com/HarryWilmington, or you can write me at HarryWilmington@gmail.com. I love doing these kind of shows. Also, guys, I'm on the road to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So if you hit the subscribe button and the like button, that helps me out immensely. All right, let's get into this. So he says, in reference to my previous video, which I recommend you go check out, he says, currently I'm in the 2 months in and she wants a casual relationship situation. And I feel I have made many of the mistakes that you present in that video. So in that video, like I said, I talk about a lot of the behaviors and things that could result in a woman that was dating you for 2 months saying, I just want something more casual with you, all right? So check that out. But he says, I received a text from her, and since then, I have backed off a lot to give her space and time. We are now currently texting a bit more and spaced out the text as I am trying to bring up eventually another time we can have a hangout or date. I just wanted to get some advice. So first of all, I'll say this. This is why I tell you guys, texting kills attraction. And you need to go to my website, IntrovertDatingSuccess.com, and get my book, Texting Like a Boss, which will give you the ins and outs of what to do and not do with texting. But the biggest thing I teach you guys is that texting is a tool. It is designed to set up appointments for dates. That is it. So a lot of the mistakes you guys are making are you're trying to text women in between dates to try to build rapport, to try to, talk to them more because you've heard that the more you talk to a woman, the more she finds you attractive. So you want to talk a lot to her, and that can actually cause her to want to back away. And so, yeah, a lot of you guys just have bad texting practices altogether. Again, website, Texting Like a Boss, it's there. Check it out. So, after I wrote him saying that I could, do coaching or just answer this in a video, he gave me some more details about a situation. He said, I have started to do some research on the behavior of girls, and I think she just started to lose interest. Yes, that's correct. He says, the mystery had started to fade due to my somewhat needy behavior towards her once she started to work. Yes, and this is the thing, especially with a lot of working women. Working women hate guys that text them all the time. Because in her life, even though she's a social animal, she likes doing other things besides being on her phone. She has friends and family to hang out with. She goes to restaurants. She has a work life. She has a job life. She has times at home where she wants to be solo without any distraction, okay? And then she sees you texting her all the time and she's thinking, geez, I have a life. Why is this guy's whole life now me? Why is he trying to spend all this time getting me into a conversation when I have other things to do and I want to be where I'm at in the moment right now without having to worry about if I don't respond to him, will I hurt his feelings, okay? So that's true for a lot of women that have like relatively busy jobs. Not to say they don't want to see you or care for you or want to be with you, but it's saying that they don't want their entire time frame galvanized by you. And that's not fair to do that to them because they don't want to be on the phone all the time and they don't want to feel like it's now an obligation to have to do that with you. And that you're going to be butthurt because now that's almost like emotional manipulation. Like every time, if she doesn't respond back right away, you having hurt feelings or crying or saying, why aren't you texting me back? What's going on? None of that's masculine behavior. And also, it just makes you look like a crappy, needy person. And as a guy, I don't want to date a needy woman. So I know women definitely don't want to date needy guys, right? Think about it. Anyway, he says, let's see, the mystery is starting to fade, need behavior, okay. He says, we were always hot and cold when texting, so it's hard to gather my thoughts on it all. So why do women go cold on texting? Well, think about this. Texting, unfortunately, one of the major downfalls of texting is that it is an ongoing conversation. And when women start dating guys that text them all the time, all they're thinking is, if I were to see this person in person, at some point I'd say, okay, well, I'll talk to you later, okay, bye. And then that would be the end of it. And the next time I talked to them was when I saw them again. But with texting, the person's always there. You are always there. So you have to learn to have self-control about how often you're going to be in her presence by way of the phone. Because what can happen over time is she's going to get tired of having to feel obligated to respond all the time, and she's going to go cold. She's going to have long time periods where she doesn't want to respond back because she just talked to you 2 days in a row straight, and she's kind of needing a break. And that's not anything against you, guy. Just a woman doesn't want to be on her phone texting all the time. She might want to be on there to like watch some videos every so often, play some games, or she might want to be with the people that she's with at the moment and not have to worry about, oh, but I gotta respond to Bob now real quick because he texted me right away and he sent me another text and another text and another text and I gotta answer them all. He's gonna be mad. That's now building what? That's now building obligation. We do not want women to feel obligated to have to answer every single text. This is why in my life, I don't text all day, whether I'm in a relationship or not, or just dated somebody. I make it a point to mostly keep my text to, hey, I'm gonna come see you. Hey, when are we planning this next thing? A little flirty here and there in the midst of leading to planning something, and occasionally sending memes. We're all gonna send memes. But the point is, I don't spend my whole day doing that. Most of my day is, I talk to the person, say, hey, what's up? What's going on? Let's go on a date sometime Tuesday. Okay, great. And then I don't talk to them the rest of the day. And honestly, I find when I'm not reaching out so much that women, if they like you a whole lot, will text you back a lot because A, they're sociable, but also when you're not chasing them, then they're thinking, okay, I now get to choose him. So now I want to go text him a whole lot. I want to see what he's up to. I want to know why he's not talking to me, and I want to get him engaged in a conversation. And as I always say, if she's chasing you, she can't be replacing you. But if you're constantly chasing after her by way of texting all the time, then she's going to replace you. Continuing, he says, I think she just needs time to be single. And at this point, being in different cities, she has her own life, goals, and men that come into her life easier. If you guys are in different cities, it's a bit harder. This is why I don't believe in doing long distance relationships. It's just because you're not able to be around, and more importantly, in terms of her, yeah, she's going to have the ability to be around more guys that are in her same city. So this is why you guys should really try to steer clear of meeting people outside of your 10 to 15 mile radius and focus on who's directly near you that can come by your place. You can go by their place. You can plan a date on the fly and be able to just go versus being like, oh, I'm doing something this weekend. I can't make it out there, and all that other crap that comes with doing long distance, which is why you should never do it. Continuing, he says, the fact that she just left a relationship, I have fallen into the rebound category and then subjected to a friend zone because it seems I have made her think I am looking for a relationship. Well, I will say this to the first part. Well, I'll say to the second part first, that based on your actions, it's indicating to her that your feelings are already strong. The problem is she's not. And what do I tell you guys on these videos time and time again? On average, it takes a woman 2 to 3 months to solidify her feelings for you. So if during that time, you're showing any kind of behaviors or making her feel in any kind of way that she needs to be emotionally with you further along than you are at, then that's going to cause them to go cold. So the part where he says, he fell into the rebound category, I can tell you right now, as a guy out here dating, I have dated plenty of women whereby they just got out of a relationship a month or two ago, and now I'm the guy that they're dating. And I've been able to make some of those situations and dating situations last a long time, whether it's a few months, whether it's a couple of years or whatever. But why is that? Why is it that I'm, as the rebound guy, am still managing to be able to date these women long term? Well, it's because I'm not displaying any kind of behaviors that indicate that I'm going to be overly invested in what their decision about me and her is. So what that means is that, let's say, if I start dating a woman like that just broke up with somebody, say they were with them for 5 or 6 years, and now they come meet me. Okay? So usually on a first date, they'll tell you, hey, I just got out of something, or I was in something for a long time, and this is that. When I hear that, my first thought is, okay, so right off the bat, no relationship. For the first 3 months, there's going to be no talk of relationship. I'm not trying to get her into one because she's going to realistically be feeling things out. And even though she may have been the one that broke up the relationship or whatever, there's going to be things she's going to be feeling from time to time that are just because she just lost some of that she thought was going to be the love of her life. So don't take it personally, but also don't try to rush her into feeling things for you that she's going to feel rushed to do. All right? From there on, again, I'm doing 1, maybe 2 dates a week at most. I'm only texting in order to set up a date. When we hang out, I make sure I'm giving them the best time of their life, both date-wise, in the bedroom-wise, conversation-wise. I'm doing all these things to say, hey, that basically project out, hey, I'm a fun, cool guy. I'm laid back. I'm carefree. And you know what? Whether this becomes a relationship or not, I'm just here to have a good time. I'm hoping that you're going to have a good time with me. Now, when I go in it that way, and I'm not trying to focus on a relationship. I'm not trying to focus on where she's at in her journey with feelings me, or I'm not focusing on I have to see you every single day. This now does what? This now gives this woman who was in a previous relationship a month or 2 ago or whatever, the ability to breathe. Because the thing that this woman's having a problem with is that she's not feeling like she's allowed to breathe. She's in a relationship. She's dating this guy that's clearly being needy to the point where he's already showing that he's being overly obsessive and needy and desperate. And these are things that are saying to the woman, I need you to really, really like me. I need you to want this as much as I want it. I need you to want to be in a relationship with me right now. And when you make somebody feel like they're having to be forced to choose you, it doesn't become their choice. And subconsciously, they're going to rebel against you not being their choice and you forcing yourself to be her choice, okay? Versus me, laid back, carefree. If you want to see me some days, you can. If you can't see me one day, we'll schedule something else out and I'll go do my own thing. I'm an introvert. I can hang out by myself and have a darn good time. If you want to happen to be there when I'm doing that, that's great, but it's not necessary. And it's that part, the part of you are not necessary for my good time, that's going to allow a woman to not feel pressured, and it's going to make her want to choose you to where, whether she broke up with somebody yesterday, a week ago, a month ago, she's not going to feel pressured. Therefore, she's going to want to be around you and your energy and your fun and excitedness. And she's going to eventually come to you and say, hey, I know I just broke up with so-and-so or whatever, but I'm really feeling you. What are we? And at the point that they start asking you those questions, that's when you can start bringing up these kind of more serious relationship type questions that's going to help you decide if you want to be in something with her or not. But it's not about being the rebound, because realistically, any girl that you date that previously had a boyfriend, whether it was a week ago, month ago, year ago, I got news for you, you're a rebound. If you're the next guy she dates after a guy that she did before, you are going to be a rebound regardless. So it's not about the rebound title. It's about you're the rebound and you're doing all these other behaviors that chase her away and make her not want to choose you. Because now, if she sees somebody else, guess what? They're going to be her rebound from you. But that guy might do a better job of knowing what to do and thereby be able to actually keep her around longer. Okay? Continuing. He says she made an agreement not to see anyone else 1 month in, her idea, but I agreed, but once she started to work, I suppose I became jealous a bit and assumed she'd be starting to see others due to her needs and our time apart. And this is the thing that guys don't get, and I really try to explain this to you, is that time apart only helps you, because the time that you're apart are the times when she's going to reflect on the good time she had with you, and her body's going to be wanting more time. And this is where you start to get things like women reaching out to you, women texting you first, women asking you for dates, women saying, hey, so when are you going to see me? Or, hey, I know I'm busy this week, but I want to make a special trip to come see you. Because they had that time apart to be able to feel like they're choosing you. It's when they can't choose you that they feel like they're being smothered and that they all of a sudden they're not getting their work done and whatever, because you're galvanizing so much of you're trying to galvanize so much of their time. And now, as a result of that, because she has to worry about if the things that she's doing are going to hurt your feelings or not, she now has to spend her free time that she's not with you still thinking about you and trying to figure out the ways to maneuver around you to be able to get the alone time or freedom that she needs while not hurting your feelings. And that can make it feel to women like you're all the ways around, even when you're not. And that can make them feel burnt out and want to get rid of you. He says, As a person who knows her in person, I assume that this could happen, and thus I'd be a mug around her and her friends, for that matter, whenever I arrive to see her, as they'd have secret stories. So now this guy's getting to the whole insecurity thing about, oh, are these women going to be talking about me, or what are they saying? I'm not going to be around. Guy, you got to learn to not care about that crap. For one, whatever she talks to her girlfriends about as it involves you and her, I mean, women are going to talk anyway, and that's fine. Like, as long as she's not calling you out your name and saying he's ugly, creepy, this and that, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Is she treating you the way you want to be treated when you're there in person? When you arrive at places and, for one, if she's inviting you to places with her friends, that means that she clearly thinks that you and her are going to be good together in front of your friends, okay? But a lot of this is projecting insecurities. I can tell this guy, it seems like you have a lot of insecurities just about dating or about your ability to hold on to a woman's interest. And I get that because I've been there. I've been that guy that was like, I want to make sure that everything's in place because I don't think I'm really good enough to keep a woman around. And so I got to like make sure my hands are in everything to make sure it's going to go the way I want it to go. And ironically, that is what will usually cause women to dump you, is that you're so obsessed with trying to make things happen that they're not able to happen, because women can feel when they're being forced or manipulated into having to feel things or do things, and they don't want to feel that. And that's going to be a bad thing for you, who wants this woman to stay around. But unfortunately, your neediness and your insecurities are going to actually push away because you're doing all this stuff. You got to let a woman be free enough to choose you. If you don't, then she's not going to stay around. Continuing, he says, it's not healthy to retain friendships or relationships like this. All in all, I have to distance myself from her as much as I can. I kept in communication with her on asking how her week was after one phone call, discussing about her final text, which we'll get to in a minute, and feelings. She responded with, she will contact me when she is free, which has now been several days. I will just continue to wait for her response now, as the ball is in her court, and I will move on with my life with abundance. Yeah, dude. So it's only been a few days. And again, as I've said in previous videos, oftentimes a woman needs space, and it might be a few days, but it could be weeks. Typically when women, like I said, in the past, when women have like either broke up with me or said, hey, I just need time, it takes like 2 to 4 months. So you can't sulk around for 2 to 4 months hoping and waiting that this particular woman is going to contact you. Because for one, that's not fair to her. And two, it's not fair to you. Because as much as you think this woman is going to be the right woman, the end all be all, she's going to be your everything, the reality is there are other women out there that are just like her, only better. I know it's hard to see now, but I say that because so many guys focus on having to get this one particular woman, and they don't see that just like this woman has certain personality traits that you like, another woman could have all these and more, all these and less, all these exactly, but also have a less busy work schedule, or doesn't mind you being needy perchance, although most women are going to mind you being needy and desperate, so don't do that. But the point is, this woman can come in a different form, shape, whatever, and be as good of a match for you as this one would have been, okay? You can't be so short-sighted about how many women there are out in the world to not realize that even in your area, you can find women just like this or better and be having a more success, okay? But the reality is, you're going to mess those up too. Because if you are insecure, if you're constantly projecting out this thing that says you don't think that you actually deserve the kind of women that you want to get, women are going to feel that. And after a minute or two of dating you, they're going to get rid of you because they don't like that feeling. They don't like feeling like they're being coerced into having to feel things for you more so than they do. You're not allowing them time to choose you. You're not allowing them time to get to the point where they feel like they want to come to you and ask for a relationship. You're forcing everything. And you could find the absolute most perfectest girl in the world ever. You're still going to chase her away if you're doing these types of behaviors. How do you stop doing this? Go to my website, sign up for some of my programs. I teach a whole bunch about this. And I got a bunch of videos on YouTube at youtube.com/HarryWilmington that talk about all this stuff to get you out of that headspace of being so anxious, okay? Dating really is easy. We make it hard on ourselves by being so much in our thought life and worrying about what women are gonna do or say or react to us. And the less you care about that stuff, the more women will want to stick around because you're not applying pressure and they feel they can be free around you and that you're a fun guy. You being anxious all the time does not make you a fun guy. And once the fun goes away, a lot of times it's when women start to go away also, all right? He says, at the end of the day, the text are called a lack of interest and are several days apart, which could now lead to weeks as she could be seeing someone else, as girls tend to arrange another guy before she moves on from her old one. Okay, this is a myth. Do some women do this? Yes. But honestly, the majority of women are typically in it to win it. And usually as a relationship's gearing towards the end, women will actually work harder to keep the relationship because they like the guy and they want to be around the guy. At the point where there's no return, most women, because they don't like to get cheated on, most women will actually like dump you first and then risk being single for a little bit. But they do have in their head that like, hey, you know what? If I know that I'm a catch, I know if I dump this guy, I can find another guy easy. So it may seem to you like, oh, she dumped me and a week later she's seen some other guy. She must have been already had it lined up. That's typically not how it goes. Typically, she knows she can go to a bar on a Friday night in a hottest dress and another dude will want to hit on her. Like, it's not hard to do, okay? They had that skill set. They look pretty for a long amount of time, so they know that that's in their bag. But that does not mean that they're always lining up another dude before they dump you. It could just be that she looks good and she's hot enough to do that, to get somebody right afterwards. I mean, I'd be able to dump girls and a month later date another girl. Like, I got it too. It happens, you know? If you have that skill set and you have the mindset that can happen, you can do it, right? But anyway, all that said, so we went through that. So I'm going to actually read the text that this woman sent this guy. So you can I'm going to kind of go through and help really analyze out some of the stuff that she was saying as it relates to the previous video I did where I talked about the thing of 2 months in and woman wanted it to be a casual relationship. So this is the text. She says, hey, more than happy to speak on the phone about it, but I wanted to articulate it in writing so I explain properly. I've been feeling weird the last week or two, like exhausted with everything. I haven't had one free day to myself since I started work again. I've neglected all my passions, haven't had a chance to dive once this summer, haven't been exercising at all, and just overall feel I have zero time for myself to even regenerate my energy before being slammed again at work, and it's really starting to affect me. Now, what she's leaving out here is she says, I've been exhausted since I started work, but also her relationship with this guy has been exhausting because the fact that she started a new job, whatever. People start new jobs all the time. I've dated women who were lawyers, who were doctors, who were scientists, who had backbreakingly long hours and a lot of work when they brought work and stuff home. And they'd still reach out to me and say, hey, but Harry, I want to see you. But hey, I got an hour here. We can have lunch together. Hey, you know what? I'm exhausted for today, but I'd love you to come by tonight just to, we can like get it in real quick. Hey, you know what? I got a couple of days next week that we can do some stuff. So we can't do this week, but next week I want to. So see, these are the actions of women that are still saying, I know I'm busy, but please see me. I want you to know that I'm still going to make time for you. It might not be every day, it might be every other week, but I want to make time to see you, to be physical with you, to go on dates with you. Heck, I'll pay for some of the dates, it's fine. Like, that's what's going to happen when the guy that she's dating is still giving her free time to do other things outside of being with him. Because what she's really saying here is that I want to do these other things, but I feel that I can't do them because at the times that I'm not at work, you want me to text you, you want me to call you, you want me to hang out, you want to be in my face all the time, you want me to hang around nonstop. And if I don't do that, then, or if I try to hang out with other friends, then you're sending me messages, you know, saying what's going on, why can't I be there, why are you doing this, you're acting jealous, you're acting needy, and now I have to think about you all the time when I'm not there and stuff. And so that's what's really stressing her out. The job itself, the new job is going to be training, there's going to be stresses that happen at that, but really the stress is actually coming from this guy's behavior towards her to where, again, she can't exercise, she can't dive, because the time that she would do that, she's thinking, oh, but he's going to want to see me at that time, and so I can't do that now. And so women, you might think, you know, a woman really likes you because she's giving up all these other things, but she's holding resentment because she wants to be able to have the guy that she likes not be jealous of her doing things outside of just hanging out with him all the time. And when that's not able to happen, it can really stress on a woman because she's like, I want to like this guy, I want to be around him, but that doesn't mean I want to spend all my time around him. And I think a lot of the media, the movies, music, etc., you know, has given guys this idea of the whole I'll be your everything thing. Oh, I'll always be there for you, 24/7 love. What do you want? What do you need? I'll always be around. Women don't want you to always be around. Women have family, friends, and girlfriends to hang out with. And they have, you know, times of the month where they might not want anybody around. So to hear that you're going to still press them to have to hang around or have to answer all their texts, that's what's stressing her out. The job's always going to be there. And the fact that she had a relationship before you meant that she was able to have a job and have a relationship. It ain't the job, okay? It is you and your actions and you making her feel forced to be around you all the time. Continuing, she says, truth is, I also met you 3 weeks after I split up with my ex, which is completely ridiculous and of course my own fault. And I just feel that it's already so intense with so many expectations to fill. And I keep jumping in this loop of relationships or seeing someone continuously with no real time to figure out what it is I really want in life. So that's her nice way of saying, it's her nice way of trying to put a justification of why she may be feeling the way she is. Oh, and also, I just started dating you 3 weeks after my ex. So, it's so ridiculous. But women do this time and time again, date somebody right after they dated somebody else. That's not what it is. What's happening is, what she wanted to say was, I met you 3 weeks after I split up with my ex, and I was hoping to be able to go out with you for some fun time, for some hangouts, for some hookups, but then you made it this thing where you need me around all the time, and now I'm realizing that was probably the reason that I got rid of my ex, and now I'm getting the same stress from you in terms of wanting to see me all the time that I got from my ex, and I don't like that. But she's not going to say that to you because she's not thinking that makes any rational sense in her head. So she's going to say this stuff instead. Oh, I'm still trying to figure myself out. And I keep getting this loop of relationships. No, she keeps dating guys that end up wanting all of her time and she can't figure out why. And most guys don't ever figure that out. Like most guys don't ever figure out that the real reason that the woman's stressed out is because she doesn't need to spend all of her time with the guy that she truly loves. I date women that they have a full 90 to 100% interest in me and they still need a break. They still need time to themselves. They still need to go out of town. They still need to talk with their family and friends without me around. And me too. I'm an introvert. I need my alone time. I'm here today by myself. Like, look, I need a day to myself. I don't, if I'm dating somebody or not, it's like, hey, that does not negate the fact that I need some me time. And especially for introverted guys are, it's such a irony to me that introverted guys are the ones that will typically be the ones that are like, but she's not around all the time. Because as introverts, even though we want our alone time also, you got to recognize that oftentimes when we meet the person we want to be with, being with them is almost as good as being alone, to where it can feel like that at times. So we're thinking, even in my aloneness, I want this other person. What if you're dating an extrovert? What if you're dating somebody that has other obligations outside of you with friends or family or her job that she needs to get to? She should not be made to feel guilty about having to then attend to those things, okay? So that's what she meant to say. But she can't say all that because she's gonna know that the guy's gonna be hurt. She's probably tried to explain this before to other guys and it hurt their ego. So now she's trying to come at it a different way with you. But that's what it really is. Continuing, she says, I don't think it's fair on you to not be honest and explain how I feel. I don't know what's going to happen this winter, whether I end up going for the Navy or just working on the boat, but I want to make sure whatever decision I make is made for me and not influenced by someone else. Obviously, I like you, and if you want, I'd be more than happy to be friends. To be friends and hang out. I just can't commit all my free time to maintaining something when at the moment I have so little of it. So, guys, this is your responsibility. It's partially responsibility. Ultimately, it's a woman's responsibility to voice that she still wants to have her alone time and be able to be to herself sometimes, okay? And I wish that she would have felt better explaining this to you before she just decided to go ghost or whatever. But the point is this. All guys watching this, you need to do the thing where early on in your dating situation with the woman, you say, hey, by the way, I'm not that guy that's like, you got to be around me all the time. I'm not going to ever be jealous of you hanging out with your friends. In fact, I want you to be able to still do your own separate things with or without me that you were doing before, because I know that's part of the reason that I'm liking you and falling for you, and I don't want to be the guy to take that away or make you feel stifled by me, any kind of needy behavior I would have. Like, I want you to keep being you, okay? When I tell you that so many women have fallen for me so much faster just because I give them the speech of, hey, you still have your freedom with me. I'm not going to hold you to me. You can go do what you want to do. Just invite me along for the ride every so often. But if I can't go, I'm not going to feel hurt in any kind of way. Taking the burden off of women of feeling that they got to, see what your emotions are going to be and that you're going to feel hurt if they do something without you, that makes women feel so free that she may really just like fall into your lap that same night. Because they really do like guys that aren't going to feel jealous or make them feel bad for just simply wanting to do a few things here and there that doesn't involve them, okay? If you start doing that, And then you actually legit build into being the kind of person that's not going to have to monitor what the woman's doing or wonder if she's out with friends, if she's going to be meeting other guys and stuff like that. Take that exercise off you. It is not your job to monitor or to control how the other person acts around other people. If a woman that you're dating goes out and starts making out with the football team, hey, all you got to do is say, I'm not for that, dump her, and go to somebody else. But you're not going to make her not kiss the football team by saying, hey, don't go and kiss the football team, and what are you doing going to games, and oh my God, like, none of that behavior actually makes women like want to do that. You can't control what another person's going to do. All you can do is put your best foot forward as who you are and hope that other person likes it enough to want to respect it, to want to be with you, and to not want to do anything that's going to make them step out. That's all you can do. That's whether, and you trying to put a chokehold on it to make it a thing, it never works. They're going to do what they want to do. So be your best self, and hopefully that'll be good enough for them. Oh, and by the way, the whole friends thing, like, never agree to that. If a woman is like, hey, I'm not feeling this anymore, we should still be friends, you have every right to say, hey, I wish it had worked out. Maybe I was too needy, and that's my bad. But you know what? Hey, I don't want to do the friends thing. So if you decide to change your mind, hit me up. I'd love to take you out again sometime. But if not, best wishes to you, and hope you have a great life. And you leave it at that. I have found that typically you'll get more women back giving that speech than agreeing to a friendship, all the while you secretly hoping that at some point, if I agree to this friendship, we'll hang out again more, and she'll eventually be able to see that we really should be together, and then she'll get back with me. More often than not, that's not going to happen, guys. So walk away completely. With any luck, she'll come back to you. And I got a whole book on my website called 10 Ways of Winning Back Your Ex that talks about why this is so effective and what you can do after you don't agree to a friendship, okay? Continuing, she says, I'm sorry if I hurt you. It's not my intention. Obviously, I just wanted to say this before it got any more serious. Working a long shift today, but if you want to call me on my break at 5, I'd be more than happy to chat. So obviously, he said they ended up chatting and stuff about it. But the thing is this. So just like in my original video I did 2 months in, and she just wants a casual relationship, this speech happens when you text too much, call too much, show needy behavior, try to rush feelings, try to ask her if you're in a relationship. And because, again, all these things are presenting you in a light that A, is not very masculine, B, is desperate, and also does not allow her to choose you. I say it time and time again. If she's chasing you, she can't be replacing you. And this is not to say, for women that watch this does not mean, oh, you need to be like constantly chasing after a man. You need to be like, begging at him and calling. But what it means is that realistically, like I say all the time, guys, 2 dates in, we're already feeling the feels, okay? So there's no need for you to have to try to push your emotions on her. But women are gonna need that time to feel those things for you. And when they start feeling those things, their body and their subconscious cannot help but to let you know. And that's when they start doing more of the texting and more of the calling, because you're giving them that space to choose you. And women respect that, and women's bodies feel more in tune with, oh, this chemistry is developing naturally because he's not rushing it. What that really means is he's letting me sit back and feel all the feels I need, and I'm getting to those levels. And when I get to those levels, I want to do more stuff with him. So that's what I mean by if a woman's chasing you, she can't be replacing you, because her mind's gonna be so focused on trying to get you to see that you should be in a relationship that there's no room in her mind to think about how to get rid of you. And so it's more important for her to be doing that kind of chasing. But that doesn't happen if you're rushing stuff and making her feel like she needs to be in it right now. And some guys, hey, some women you date, it may take 2 months, it may take 2 weeks, it may take, 6 months. As long as you're asking her on dates, she's saying yes, you're taking her out once or twice a week at max. Because the thing is, you want the woman to hit you up at times and start saying, hey, we should see each other beyond just the 1 or 2 times that you're taking me out. At the point that happens, now she's saying, I want to see you more. She's saying, I want to make more time for you. You won't get responses like, oh, I have no time to do stuff, if she's the one that's figuring out how to work all this time. And if you're the guy that's saying, hey, and when you're working your time for yourself, don't think I'm gonna be jealous or feel some kind of way about it. I got my own stuff to do. It's totally fine, all right? So be that guy. As for this particular situation, like I said, guy, I wouldn't agree to a friendship. She's already told you the thing. I would stop texting her just to text, like real talk. I know at some point you'd like to ask her out again. Honestly, I'd wait about a month. I'd wait a month just to see if she reaches out to you. If at any time within that month or 2 months or whatever, she reaches out to you to say, hey, just want to see how things are going, blah, 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 blah. That's when you say, hey, you know what? Thanks for reaching out. I'd love to catch up and talk some more. When are you free to come over? Or when are you free for us to go out on another date? And that's at the point where you can ask for that. But until she's reaching out to you first, because right now it sounds like you're still doing more of the initiating, which means on some level she's being nice in terms of, okay, I'll respond back when you revert back to me, but she's not really invested in the conversation. Especially if you find yourself texting her more or sending her responses that are longer than hers, then that's how you can really tell that she's not into the conversation at all. But if you leave her alone for like a month or two, wait and see if she reaches out to you and what she says. At which point, anytime she reaches out to you first, all you do is say, hey, thanks for reaching out. We should talk more over dinner. We should talk more over at my place. When are you free? That's all you say. If she says anything like, oh, well, I'm not trying to date this and that, just be like, okay, cool. Well, hey, whenever you're ready, reach out to me. And that's her response. But none of this friendship texting just to text, no sending memes, no sending little funny videos, anything like that, or no how are your days, no hey, happy birthdays, no happy holidays, none of that stuff. All you should be doing is sitting there. You should be just waiting for her to hit you up. In the meantime, you go out and start hitting up other women. We watch this video, listen to everything I said about the needy behavior and what not to do and how to better handle that kind of situation. Start working on your confidence. Start working on your mindset about, being okay with a woman having friends outside of you or doing activities outside of you. So that way you can stop being so tied to what the outcome of this person's behavior should be. Become that guy. And then allow her to see that change. Should she reach out and you guys end up going out again, let her see that you're not that guy anymore that's so hung up on texting all the time or calling all the time or being jealous because she's hanging out with friends or, you're worried about the job taking over everything. Like, don't be that guy. Show her that you're the new guy that wants her to go diving, that wants her to make time for friends, and that is only regulated to texting her when you were going to go out. And then you have a shot at getting her back. But realistically, guy, yeah, this is what happens when you're pushing stuff too hard, okay? So it's not because you're a rebound, because I've been a rebound guy plenty of times, and those situations have gone the way I wanted them to go. So really just focus on your actual actions, and then whether you're a rebound or not, you'll still be able to keep these women around. Thank you for watching this episode of the Introvert Dating Success Show. If you found the info in this episode to be helpful, please show your support by clicking on the tip jar tab, the link of which can be found at the website and in the description below. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment on this episode and catch new episodes right here on YouTube or wherever podcasts can be found. In the meantime, be sure to check out these other episodes so you too can learn to date as your introverted self while still getting your precious alone time. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.